Is it actually necessary to design your e-commerce emails? E-com brands will obsess over their visuals, their designs, and how flashy their emails are. But let's be honest, we see those emails in our inbox and our promo tab every single day. But do those designed, highly laid out, visual flashing emails actually make sales? In this video, we're gonna go over why plain text emails outperform designed emails almost every single time, and how you can use these plain text emails to double your sales that you're making right now. Let's get into it. And just to show you all that I know what I'm talking about with this design versus plain text email thing, here's inside of one of my clients' accounts. They do just over $1 million a year when it comes to email, and they're sending almost daily, 5 to sometimes 7 emails a week to various segments. As you can see here on the right, what I have here, 21,000, 19,000, 30,000, 150,000, 17,000, 56, 20, and on and on and on. With these plain text style emails and with an almost daily sending schedule, segmentation included, they are doing over $1 million a month with email. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. We are in a world where there's a ton of noise. Advertisements are flying everywhere, billboards are flashing all over the place. And if we're just gonna add to the noise with another visual, flashy email, we're not gonna get the customer's attention. That's why we get undivided attention when we send plain text emails that focus on 3 things: the audience, the offer, and the message. You take those and package them up into a plain text email. This is why they outperform over design emails almost every single time. When you use plain text emails, instead of competing with images, graphics, footers, buttons, fonts, colors, and all those other elements, your message actually stands center stage when you use black text on white background. This is just simply reducing the noise and focusing your customer in on what you're offering, why you're offering it, and how it's going to help them. Even more so, these plain text emails are what's called direct response style, so they're action oriented. So we aren't planting seeds or hoping the customer takes action later. What we're doing is we're making an argument, we're showing them how it's going to benefit their life, and then we're asking them to take action right now so that they can actually achieve that benefit. Another huge benefit of plain text emails is it increases your likelihood that you're going to end up in the inbox. So many brands end up in the promo tab or even in the spam filter or in the spam folder because of their design. Design elements in emails, the size of it, the capacity, those things actually trigger email service providers into sending their emails into the spam or the promo folders. These elements are what keep your customers from seeing your message. And that's why when we go plain text, and we use mostly plain text, if not all, it actually helps our chances of getting those emails into the inbox, getting the offer in front of the customer, and asking the customer to take action so you can make a sale. The other beautiful part about plain text emails is that you get a consistent visual experience to most email service providers you send to. Whereas design, you have to have the visuals, the layouts, the HTML coding, all of those other factors that could go wrong or break. Even links can break when you send across the various different types of email service providers. With plain text, that reduces breakage and inconsistent visual experience by a ton, which means your customers aren't looking at, oh, this image is broken or this link is broken. What they're looking at is your message. They're looking at your offer. They're reading what you have to offer them, and they're considering it instead of worrying about if a link or an image is broken. Another great thing about plain text emails is the quick load times. So when those emails hit the inbox and the customer clicks on those, the emails just load. There's no delay, and there's no waiting for a broken image to show up or any kind of link to work. The emails just load and they can go right into the message and the offer you're making. When you're using design and heavy laid out emails, there is a chance that those emails will load wrong. They'll load looking different. Each email service provider actually handles images and layouts and designs a little bit differently. So if your code doesn't handle all that, it can actually cause issues. There's also a authentic human touch when it comes to plain text emails. So when a customer comes to the inbox and they're looking through their emails, what they're looking for is one-to-one communication. So they're communicating with their boss, with their family member, with a friend, with grandma, and they expect one-to-one communication. When you send designed, heavily laid out emails that are flashy and visually appealing, what that does is it signals to the person that this is a one-to-many send. And while us as marketers and brands want to send one-to-many, we're using automation and software and tech to do that. We still want the email to feel one-to-one. Plain text allows us to actually create that situation where when people open the email, they see plain text, they say, hey, first name, they see plain text, they see just text, they don't see any visual elements, and their first response is, oh, this is from somebody I know, I'm kind of curious, what is this? Whereas if they open an email and see a visually designed email, their first, in most cases, first gut response is, oh, this is a promotion, do I really need this right now? I'm going to find a reason to click out, or I'm just going to leave because I don't want to read this right now. What's more is visual, heavily designed emails actually can be related to spammy marketing tactics. So if somebody sees a promotional email and they open it, again, their gut response is to push away, not read it, put up their walls, guard themselves from the marketing or advertising message that's coming to them that they're about to get barraged with, right? Whereas with plain text emails, we at least get the chance, in most cases, for the person to actually start reading our message, for them to start leaning in and saying, okay, what is this email about? Whether they're aware of your brand or not, they're still going to read part of the message, and that gives us a chance to hook them in. If your subject line and your opening sentence and opening paragraph do the right work, it'll actually hook them into reading the email, and we get to deliver our message without them putting their guard up. With plain text emails, we're leaning into more of a direct response strategy, where when we use a hook to get attention, we use an argument to help somebody decide if they should take action or not, and then ask them to take that action. What we're doing is we're asking for a response and a reaction right now. When it comes to designed emails, what we're doing in most cases, not all, but most cases, we're essentially planting a seed or an idea or a concept that the customer will act on later. So when you compare those two strategies over time, you're going to make more sales with a direct response style because you're making more offers, you're making more asks, and you're getting more people to take action. Whereas brand marketing, in most cases, is simply just asking to consider something. And that's why it's so important that when you are working with email, especially for e-commerce brands, is to ask your list to take action. You want them to click through the emails, you want them to go to the website, you want them to shop. Clear calls to action help a ton when it comes to email. A lot of the highly designed, highly laid out emails typically don't have very clear calls to action. They offer, 5 to 6 to 10 products in an email. All those have buttons of those products, and the customer essentially gets confused. And confusion does not equal conversion. Clarity equals conversion. And that's where a direct response, plain text style email where you focus on one idea, one concept, one product, it's gonna get you more clicks. It's gonna get you more sales. With plain text emails, testing is super easy. So if you go in and you go to test an email, you can test the subject line, the preview text, the opening hook, the body copy, the offer, the CTA, the signature, the PS. All of these are text-based elements, and those are very simple to test. You just change some text out, make a test, and start it. When it comes to design-based emails, you have to worry about the elements, you have to worry about the design assets, you have to worry about the layout, you have to worry about your email service providers across the board. If they're able to take that design, you have to worry about your HTML code, you have to worry about all these other complex elements that don't, at the end of the day, contribute to the actual argument or message that you're trying to deliver to your customer. In a few cases, yes, design can help, but in most cases, if you focus the person on the message, the offer, and the benefits they're going to have by taking the action you ask them to take because of that argument, you're going to get better stats. And that's why testing is so simple when it comes to plain text and non-design based emails, is you simply just have to change the text and create a test and hit send. In many cases, if you can make more offers, you can make more money. And with that being said, plain text is way more time efficient from an offer making standpoint. Yes, you can spend hours, dozens of hours designing the perfect email with the perfect visuals, with the perfect flashy CTA buttons and product images. But at the end of the day, you have to ask the hard question, is that actually making you more sales? And when it comes to testing and iterating and finding the right order of argument and the order of message to get your customers to actually take action because of an asset like an email you send to them, plain text is just way more efficient. It's also more flexible. You can take blocks of text and move them around. You can take messaging and change your leads. You can actually switch out products very easily because it's plain text. There's no image, there's no design, there's no heavy, flashy visual layouts. You don't have to run it through 7 different people to get the design to work. You don't have to run it through your coding team. You simply just go in, change the text, save it, hit send, make the offer, and see if your audience reacts and resonates with it, and if they buy. A beautiful thing about plain text emails also is they're consistent across all platforms. Let me explain. With a plain text email, once you get the message right to your existing list, to your existing audience, to your existing customers, that gets them to take action and buy things, what you can then do is take that same plain text and start running it through your paid channels, through your social channels, through your print channels like direct mail and things like that. You can take the same copy and reuse it over and over and over again through various channels. So it's consistent across platforms because the message is consistent. It's just the medium that has changed. When you look at design-based emails, if a design email works, you have to start almost from scratch. If you go to a postcard, to a Facebook ad, to Google Ads, to anything else, you have to ultimately start from scratch to get that design to work, and you're starting testing all over again. You don't really know if the order of the colors, order of the design, and order of the message is actually going to get you some kind of positive ROI. With plain text, you know the message is solid because that's the only thing that you sent, and your customers have responded with taking action like clicking and opening emails, clicking and opening links, shopping your site, and making purchases. Even if you design the flashiest, most aesthetically pleasing email, plain text copy and direct response copy is going to outperform it. Here's why. With design, the focus is on the design. With plain text copy, the focus is on the message and what the customer gets out of it. If you're an e-commerce brand looking for help with paid, SMS, or email marketing, hit the first link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe because we're going to be making a ton more videos over the coming months, and I don't want you to miss out.